I made a huge mistake in 2023 and 2024 when it came to creating my own personal brand's content team. And I don't want you guys making the same mistakes I made with your own personal brand. And this video, I'm going to be walking you guys through exactly the main systems you need to have for your personal brand, how to create an exceptional content team, avoiding mistakes that I specifically made, the main roles with the KPI and what they're specifically in charge with, and the actual responsibilities for each of those individual roles. This video is supposed to be a leapfrog for yourself. It is supposed to help you advance to the next point without taking a year and a half of mistakes that I've made. You guys can just start implementing this ASAP. I'm going to show you guys how to build a killer content team in 2025. So I'm the Wiz of Ecom. I fast tracked hundreds of agency owners, info product owners, founders, and CMOs of all sizes into the authorities in their space. Now we have a few main systems over here. Here's a system that you need to have when you're creating content for Twitter and LinkedIn. It's a 10-step system that we use internally. We start with finding an idea. We have to research more information about the idea. We got to create a list of questions for those ideas and send it over to the person that we're interviewing. For your case, it's going to be for yourself. You're interviewing yourself with the ideas that you had, and you're going to record that call. Then you're going to start writing content based off that recording. Then you're going to quality assure it, and then you're going to post it. Then repurpose, analytics, double down on what's working, come up with new tests, follow and adjust the schedule, and then idea generation again. As a business owner, it is physically impossible to be able to do this. This takes 2-3 hours on a daily basis. You need to be able to build a team with the right roles, and you need to make sure that those right roles have the right responsibilities, which I'll show you. For example, even on the YouTube side, Shane Hummus, my friend, he's a client of mine for over a year. He has a nasty YouTube offer where he teaches people how to build their YouTube personal brands, and he has a very similar system: idea generation, quality control, thumbnail, script writing, quality control again, recording, video editing, quality control. Like it's a massive system of 8 steps with 4 different quality control steps. It's impossible to do this yourself, but I'm going to show you what the perfect team structure would be if you want to do this at scale. But before we do that, we need to understand the mistakes that I made during this process that is going to hurt you if you're building your personal brand right now. The first mistake I made was hiring people without actually identifying their responsibilities. I hired one person to do some of this, some of this, some of this, and I'm gonna explain what each of these are. And it became this big mess. It became spaghetti that like we just couldn't hold on to anything. Everything was slipping out of our hands. Then we started hiring people who've actually never created content before. We started hiring people who are just like good content writers, but they've never built content for their personal brands or for anybody's personal brand. Then we started going for very cheap options. I started hiring writers in developing countries, and developing countries just do not understand the concept of the trends in our industry and the sophistications of our audiences, and they're creating content from like 3-4 years ago. And then the last thing was hiring a massive team of like individual people for individual tasks. I had someone for this, I had someone for this, I had someone for this. It was a mess. There are 4 mandatory roles if you want to build a personal brand at scale, and 5 if you want YouTube involved with it too. And let's go into each of these roles. The role number 1 is the most important role. This is the content strategist. The content strategist never writes. The content strategist is the visionary that orchestrates the strategy between each of these other individuals in the space. They're not project managing. These people are the visionaries with the idea. They do the research. They interview you, or like, for example, I'm a client of my own agency, and then they optimize this, and then they give that information over to the content writer and the designer. So let's look at the strategist role essentially in action. So the strategist is going to come in. They're going to identify the idea. They're going to be they're going to be doing the research, and they're going to come up with a list of 7 questions plus inspirations to ask you. You're the client here. So you're going to be jumping on a call with the strategist, and you're going to be answering the 7 main questions from the strategist. And that strategist is going to be sending that recording with the transcription over to the content writer and over to the designer. On a week-to-week basis, your strategist is going to be looking at every one of your analytics. They're going to look at your competitors' posts. They're going to look at what's working for your account and what's not working for your account, and they're going to optimize it. The content writer comes in, and they're going to start with the copywriting, the script writing, and the content writing. How do they do this? Well, the content writer and the strategist are actually basically married. They're working side by side, and they're creating different content pieces based off of those answers, based off of different scenarios. So if I answer one of the questions in a very advanced way, my content writer is going to decide, okay, should I go and write this as a long form? Should I write this as a value tweet? Should I write this as a story? Should I write this as an authoritative post? Should I write this as a technical post? Should I write this as a motivational post? There's so many different ways that we can write content, and it's up to the content writer and the strategist to figure that out together. Then from there, when the content writing is done, you send that post over to the designer, and this is where the designer comes in and decides, well, am I going to design this as a mind map? Am I going to design this as a carousel? Am I going to design this as an infographic? Now you have a design for that content piece, and those content pieces came from 7 specific topics that were answered by you, the personal brand, that were given to you by the content strategist. It's such a smooth freaking flow, guys. Then from there, you need a project manager, because there's so many different steps that are constantly moving forward. The project manager is the one who's delegating, holds the team accountable to specific due dates, and they're making sure everything is done on time. So you can have a 7-day cycle. Every single Monday, you get your questions. Then every Tuesday, the transcriptions have it handed over to the content writer and designer. By Thursday, the content writing is done. By Friday, by Thursday afternoon, the designer takes everything. By end of day Friday, the designer is done with everything, and then it's going in for QA, and it's sent over to you back again on Monday with a new set of 7 questions. That's the flow. It's a 7-day system. The quality control belongs to every person in the system, but mainly the content strategist. The content strategist is here to make sure that the voice is being followed, that the content pillars are being followed, and that the structures of the posts are being followed correctly. Now, who is responsible for what? Well, for X and LinkedIn, we're going to go through my strategy. For YouTube, we're going to go through Shane Hummus's strategy. So for X and LinkedIn, we're going to start with idea generation. We're going to research. That's the content strategist role. Then there's quality control and the interview. All of this is the content strategist. They're doing these steps. Once these are done and you answer the questions from the content strategist, the content writer comes in. The writing and the visual image creation, the content writer and designer take over, the final check, and then the posting. The repurposing is going to be the video editor. So the video editor could come in and take some content, get you to re-record something, get you to re-record your Loom video, your interview video, whatever it is. Quality control comes in. Analytics is your content strategist, has to look at the data. How did the post do? How many views compared to your normal average? How many likes compared to your average? How many book calls? And we need to double down on the winners on a week-to-week basis. We create a report card for every single one of our clients. That report card is exceptional. It literally shows you what's working, what's not, and we create a new hypothesis, which is the new test, quality control, and then we following and adjusting the posting schedule. This is the entire flow for X and LinkedIn. You don't need to be doing all of these yourself. You should be hiring these specific roles to do it. For YouTube, this is what Shane Hummus has: idea generation, content strategy, holy trifecta, content strategist and designer. So the thumbnail, the title, and intro. Script writing is content writer. The recording is you, the personal brand. Video editing and uploading and optimizing is the video editor. And then video launch and the analyzing of the results is the strategist. Strategist is a thinker. The writers are the ones who are doing everything, and the project manager is making sure all of these steps of the system are being followed. How much will it cost you for each of them? The content strategists are usually $5K a month. Content writers are about $2,500 to $3K a month. Designers are about $2,500 a month. Video editors $1 to $5K, and project managers $2 to $10. The total price for an exceptional content team is about $13 to $20K a month. But why pay any of this when you can have a dedicated team that's already proficient in all of this to do it for you for cheaper? That's what my agency is for. My agency will do all of this for you for a fraction, 25% of the cost of what this is on a month-to-month basis. And we have the experience. We've been doing this for years. We do the interview, all the content pillars, your tone, your stories, then the custom content strategy with topics, content ideas, and recommendations. We choose the different deliverables. We quality check it, and you enjoy your content. We do the long-form content, visual breakdown, static image carousels, video carousels, Miro boards, newsletter writing, every detail for $5K on a monthly basis. If you're ever interested in building your own content team, follow this process. If you want someone who is an expert who's been doing this for years, who's figured out the sauce, then you can reach out by clicking the link in the description and booking a call with us. Or if you want to learn how to do it all yourself, I have an entire program in the description for $45 a month called the Utopia. It's your personal brand utopia, everything you need to build your personal brand into an authority, and you can do it all yourself by clicking that link in the description. All right, guys, I'm going to see you all in the next video.